On June 30th, 1908, a massive explosion rocked the skies above Siberia, powerful enough to flatten over 80 million trees. Witnesses thought the world was ending. But here's the strangest part. The thing that caused it completely vanished. No crater, no wreckage, nothing. So what really exploded over Tunguska? Welcome to TrueMystix, where we uncover mysterious history and hidden science that the textbooks barely scratch the surface of. If you're new here, stick around. Things are about to get wild. Let's go back to that morning in 1908. It's early, just past 7 a.m. The remote Tunguska River region of Siberia is quiet, cold. Almost no one lives out there. Just a few scattered indigenous settlements and some traders passing through. Then the sky tears open. Eyewitnesses hundreds of miles away described seeing a column of blue-white light, brighter than the sun, streaking across the horizon. Eyewitnesses hundreds of miles away described seeing a column of blue-white light, brighter than the sun, streaking across the horizon. One man said it felt like his shirt was on fire. Another said the heat was so intense he thought his ears were going to melt off his head. And then the sound hit. A shockwave so massive it knocked people clean off their feet. Windows shattered, buildings cracked. The ground shook like an earthquake across an area spanning hundreds of miles. And at the center of it all, 2,000 square kilometers of forest, completely destroyed. 80 million trees, scorched and flattened, all pointing outward from a single point in the sky, like a giant invisible fist had just punched the earth from above. But when scientists finally made it out there, years later, because this place was incredibly remote, they found something that made absolutely no sense. There was no crater, no meteorite fragments, no debris, no impact site. Whatever hit Tunguska left no trace of itself behind. For decades, people lost their minds trying to explain it. Some said it was a comet made entirely of ice that vaporized on impact. Others said it was a chunk of antimatter that annihilated itself in the atmosphere. There were even serious scientists, serious ones, who floated the idea of a miniature black hole passing through the Earth. And then there's the crowd that went full sci-fi, UFO crash, alien spacecraft losing control, Nikola Tesla secretly testing a death ray from his laboratory in New York. I mean, at this point, who could blame them? The evidence was so strange that almost anything seemed possible. But here's where science finally started catching up to the mystery. In the 1990s and 2000s, researchers began applying modern computational models to the event. They crunched the energy output, estimated at between 10 and 15 megatons. For context, that's about 1,000 times more powerful than the atomic bomb dropped on Hiroshima. And what they found pointed to one very specific culprit, an asteroid. Not one that smashed into the ground, but one that exploded in midair. This is called an airburst, and it's actually more terrifying than a direct impact in a lot of ways because the energy radiates outward in every direction at once, like a bomb going off at altitude. No crater, no debris on the ground, just pure, devastating force spreading across the landscape in a wave. The asteroid, estimated at around 50 to 80 meters wide, roughly the size of a large office building, entered Earth's atmosphere at somewhere between 10 and 30 kilometers per second. At that speed, the air resistance builds so fast that the rock essentially tears itself apart from the inside out. The pressure difference becomes catastrophic, and it explodes 5 to 10 kilometers above the ground. Gone in an instant, vaporized, turned into superheated plasma and gas that rained down as a shockwave powerful enough to level a forest the size of Rhode Island. No crater, no wreckage, because there was nothing left to find. Now here's what really should keep you up at night. This happened in one of the most remote places on Earth. Almost nobody lived there, and even still, people were knocked off their feet 100 miles away. If that same asteroid had entered the atmosphere just a few hours later, its trajectory would have carried it over a major European city. St. Petersburg, Helsinki, Stockholm. The death toll would have been unimaginable. And the kicker? We almost certainly wouldn't have seen it coming, because objects this size are incredibly hard to track. They're small enough to slip past most detection systems, fast enough that by the time we spot them, it might already be too late. Scientists estimate that an event like Tunguska happens roughly once every 500 to 1,000 years. The last one was in 1908, do the math. The Tunguska Event wasn't just a mystery, it was a warning, a reminder that the universe is vast, indifferent, and occasionally very, very close. If you enjoy videos like this, take a second to check out the videos appearing on your screen right now. You're not going to want to miss them. And if this one blew your mind, hit that like button, subscribe so you never miss what we uncover next, and drop a comment telling me, what do you think would have happened if Tunguska had hit a major city? I read every single one. See you in the next mystery.